So, what if you could get profound, truly life changing results with just one focused hour a day? Yeah, just one. Forget the hustle culture, the 12-hour grind. Today, we're going to break down a protocol for deep focus that could totally change everything you thought you knew about productivity. All right, let's get into it. And this is where we're starting this single idea. See, this isn't about making tiny little improvements, it's about unlocking a level of potential that, honestly, you probably don't even know you have. And the way to get there? It's not what you think. We've all been sold this bill of goods, right? The grind myth, that success has to mean suffering, 12-hour days, and just endless caffeine. But what if the opposite is true? The 1 hour promise isn't about working more. It's about using the time you have with absolute laser-like clarity to build the thing that actually matters to you. So let's actually break this promise down. How can one little hour possibly stand up against a whole day of work? Well, the secret isn't in the amount of time. It's all about the quality of your focus inside that time. An hour a day might not sound like a lot, but it compounds big time. Over a year, that's 365 hours of pure, uninterrupted progress on your most important thing. To put that in perspective, that's more than 9 full-time work weeks dedicated entirely to building your dream, not somebody else's. Now, what I love about this is how it totally reframes what work even is. It's not just one thing. Think about it like going to the gym. You've got building, that's the intense workout, right? Creating something new. Then you have maintenance, that's the daily stuff that keeps things running smoothly. And then the one everyone forgets, recovery. That's the rest. That's where the real growth, the real breakthroughs actually happen. Okay, so if this is all so great, why is it so incredibly hard to do? Well, the problem isn't your work ethic. It's the very architecture of your mind. Let's dig into the psychology of why we get so ridiculously distracted. This is such a fantastic analogy. Your attention is a limited resource, just like the RAM on your computer. And you know what happens when you have way too many programs running in the background, right? The whole system just slows to a crawl, and then it crashes. That's exactly what's happening with your focus. And all that chaos leads to this state called psychic entropy. It's a fancy term, but the idea is simple. Just like your bedroom gets messy if you don't clean it, your mind by default just drifts into chaos. Without actively creating order, trying to focus is pretty much impossible. It's not a personal failure, it's just a law of nature we have to fight against. So, what do these open tabs actually feel like? Well, they're all those regrets about the past, all the anxiety about the future, those constant cravings for a little dopamine hit, all the unfinished tasks nagging you, and that awful sinking fear that you're falling behind. Your mental RAM is maxed out before you even open your laptop. No wonder you can't focus. Okay, enough about the problem. Let's shift gears and talk about the solution. How do we close all those tabs? How do we create the mental order we need for deep, meaningful focus? Turns out, it really boils down to 3 key ingredients. These are the 3 pillars right here. First up, clarity. You have to know exactly what the very next step is, no fuzziness. Second, importance. You have to feel in your gut the consequences of not doing it. And third, urgency. You need a real reason to do it right now, not tomorrow. When you get all 3 of those aligned, focus basically becomes automatic. Oof, this one can be a tough pill to swallow, but it's so important. We live in this state of constant doing mode, mistaking motion for progress. We run from silence because that's where the hard questions are. But that quiet space is exactly where clarity and real intention are born. And this routine is just brilliant in its simplicity. You fill your mind with new ideas and inputs in the afternoon. Then you empty it of all the mental clutter, all that psychic entropy at night by reflecting and planning. So when you wake up in the morning, your mind is clear, it's primed, and it is ready to be used for that deep creative work. All right, now we get to the really good stuff, the super practical part. We've talked about the why and the what. Now it's time for the how. This is a concrete step-by-step protocol you can start using literally today. Because this is the real question, isn't it? It's not just about finding an hour. You need a structure, a system that makes sure that hour isn't wasted and that every single session builds on the one before it. And the whole protocol starts right here with some brutal honesty. First, you define your anti-vision. Where will you be in 5 years if you don't change a thing? Get painfully specific. This creates the feeling of importance. Then, you define your real vision. Not the reasonable one, but the big, ambitious life you actually want. This creates the pull. And this is just a crucial point. Stop trying to muscle your way through with more willpower and discipline. It's a losing battle. Instead, you want to design your life to eliminate distractions from the get-go. Make focus the easiest choice you can make. It's about working smarter, not just harder. This is how you create that crystal clarity we talked about. You take that huge vision and you break it down into a 10-year target, then a 1-year milestone, then a 1-month objective, all the way down to a 1-week target. This is how you turn a massive, scary goal into a simple, non-negotiable task for today. And here it is, the whole framework in one place. Your vision and anti-vision give you the why. The goal hierarchy gives you the what. Your projects are how, and the lever-moving tasks, that's your focus for today. This whole frame makes taking productive action almost unavoidable. So we have the protocol, but there is one last piece to this puzzle, and it's an emotional one. It's that feeling that stops so many of us before we even start, that fear of not really knowing what we're doing. This is the final mindset shift. That feeling of being lost or overwhelmed or confused, it is not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It is the opposite. It is the price of admission you pay for learning something new and worthwhile. It means you're actually pushing your own boundaries. So, instead of running away from that feeling of uncertainty, you learn to see it as a good thing. The path that's certain is almost always the least rewarding one. The real growth, the real rewards, they all live in the unknown. And learning to tolerate that uncertainty is the final key to unlocking your true potential. So there you have it. You've got the psychology, you've got the protocol, and you've got the mindset. The only question left is the one right there on the screen. 1 focused hour a day, 365 days. What are you going to build?